Hi, my name is Jason Roseberry, and I'm the assistant principal at Scottsburg Middle School in Southern Indiana. We've been using My Big Campus for about a year now. It started about a year ago, and basically, like a lot of schools, we started thinking about our students and their needs. We're having this very common thing where engagement was low, and we were really just wanting to try to find ways to get that student buy-in into the learning process. So we started doing a little bit of research and trying to figure out why. We're teaching it. We're teaching it well. Why aren't they getting it? And we came across this idea that maybe students just need to learn in ways that are differently from what we're doing now. So we did some research and started stumbling across some statistics. We came across some ideas that talked about the idea of a digital native, or a person who's born into all this digital technology and through interacting with this from a very early age has a different understanding of its concepts. And we started seeing that these digital natives actually learn in ways that are much different from us, or as we were referred to as, we found out we were digital immigrants, or people that were born after this technology came along. And so we are trying to adopt to it, but we're very different, and we learn in different ways than the digital natives. And then we started doing even more research and finding out things about our kids that we knew but were like duh moments. Things like that digital natives require external verification of their internal feelings and decisions, and lots of it. Figuring out that kids, even for things like getting a haircut or ordering pizza, they would post it up on a social network like Facebook or MySpace and get feedback on it. And this is how we found that they are truly learning. They are Anything that's exciting to them at all is being pictured, texted, and posted, and they're wanting people to comment on it, and they're putting it up there for people to see, going away, coming back, looking at comments, reposting. This, we found, is how they process, and this is how they're actually assimilating new information into their brains. In a way, they're learning, and their brains are wiring in different ways than us digital immigrants. So we realized that things have changed, and we look at other industries. Let's look at television, and the idea of video, and we saw that more video had been uploaded to YouTube in the past 2 months than the three major networks had been airing since 1948. We looked at traditional advertising and how it's declining, yet that digital advertising is increasing almost 20% in the past year. We've heard about newspaper circulation going down, but then Amazon releases that more e-texts had been sold over the holidays than paperback and the hardback versions of the books. In the past 5 years, there have been 30 million more online readers. And then even if you look at recent technology like text messaging, in 1 year from 2009 to 2010, that went up, it more than doubled. So we saw that our world was changing fast, and yet we turned the spotlight on education. And we look back to 100 years ago in education, and then we looked to modern times, and what we saw is that things haven't changed that greatly. In fact, a teacher from 100 years ago might feel pretty comfortable coming into our modern classrooms because we hadn't taken the time to catch up with the trends that the other industries had changed. In fact, while other industries were almost unrecognizable, education was pretty much still the same. So we came up with a statement, this idea that institutions must change from the inside or they will be changed from the outside. And believe me, we had been seeing it between student apathy and engagement. We saw that we needed to make a change. Now, many of us know that relationships are the most powerful tools to affect change with our students. And so what we came to realize is that if we can hook on to this idea of social networking, that's going to amplify these relationships and take them to the next level and help us truly develop 24/7 learning. And what could happen with these classroom walls would come crumbling down, and learning could all of a sudden take place anytime, anywhere, and on any device that would have an internet connection. Now, I know with many teachers, the idea of social networking makes them break out into hives and the shakes and get a cold sweat. So we decided we're going to take our time looking for a digital learning environment that we thought could really make a difference for us. There were three major things I was looking for. I was looking for something that would let us incorporate YouTube videos into their curriculum. It was a nice surprise because My Big Campus has lots of great resources already in its library. Things like lesson plans, worksheets, quizzes, pictures, including YouTube videos. They're already loaded in the library. And it gave our teachers the ability to add YouTube videos or other videos they found to share with students. So all of a sudden, these great resources that had not been available because of filters and things, we were able to go ahead and push those things through and cure that overblocking. The second thing I was looking for was storage. I was getting so sick of students having the jump drives or not having access to the resources when they really needed them at home, or different versions or trying to convert files. And what this did was give unlimited storage for students and teachers. So all of a sudden we could take that data off our servers and push it out to my big campus and make everyone happier because they had that access to it wherever they were, wherever they could get to that internet connection. Third thing I was looking for was safety. Now, obviously, in schools, that's our main concern. And when we start talking about social networking, a lot of times it sort of feels like the Wild West. I loved that my filtering company and my digital learning environment worked hand in hand, but I was especially thrilled that my big campus had extra filters in place to automatically catch inappropriate language and pictures. I also loved that it had the ability for teachers and administrators to run reports. These reports would show anything a student had typed into my big campus, even if that content was deleted. Then I started seeing all the extras that were included with my big campus, things like electronic assignment submission, where teachers could push out assignments to students, and then students could respond electronically as well. Other tools such as chat rooms, quiz creators that grade for you, discussion boards, announcements, and even a calendar for each group that would automatically sync with the students' My Big Campus calendar. This took away a lot of excuses for our students potentially. It suddenly hit me that My Big Campus was basically social networking with training wheels. See, the problem with bullying and inappropriate use in other social media wasn't because it wasn't a worthwhile tool. The problem was schools hadn't embraced it and taught the students the correct way to go about using it. I had this great tool that I wanted to put to use, so the first thing I did was find some really energetic teachers to try it out. I drafted two of my science teachers who were already working trying to reinvent their curriculum, as many of us are trying to do for these core curriculum standards. And I had these two gals that they not only embraced My Big Campus, they're not only thrilled to try it out, they decided to throw out their textbook and just use My Big Campus and the core content standards as the backbone of their instruction. Now, by making this shift, they found that they had enough free resources in My Big Campus and online to teach the concepts from the class in a much more engaging and exciting way than the textbook had ever given them. Some interesting things happened. Student grades and engagement went up, and the discipline went down. Now here's what I want you to keep in mind. This is not a one-to-one learning environment. These teachers had access to 3 computers in their classroom and 1 computer lab every 2 weeks if they were lucky. What these teachers found out was that although we were 50% free and reduced lunch, almost 80% of our kids had access to the internet outside of school hours through a family or library computer, a cell phone, or an iPod. Those students who didn't have access were able to get on computers before school, after school, and worst case scenario was these kids got on the classroom computers during the school day. It was exciting because these kids found a way to participate because for once they were actually excited to learn. We were finally teaching in a way that they valued and that they learned as digital natives. So Scottsburg Middle School is now a My Big Campus school. We love the power of relationships, communication, and learning that it's providing in our building. We love how it makes our teachers even more powerful. We love how the company gives excellent support, excellent customer service, and makes decisions for improvements that are based on our teacher feedback. And we've had the chance to give feedback ourselves and see those changes take place. But most importantly, we love My Big Campus because it makes our kids want to learn. We see them taking control of their learning and actually engaging in the educational process. Learning is no longer something we do to them. For once, it is a 24/7 adventure that they participate in every single day.